Hello, my name's Evan, and for 21 weeks I've been practicing and trying to learn the tenor saxophone. This last week I've been working on a song that my instructor wrote called Duet for Yvonne. So, that wasn't exactly how he wrote it. I messed up on some of the rhythm. There's a lot of like little eighth notes in there, but anyways, it's a pretty song. And of course there's no backing track because he wrote it. So anyways, that's what I've been working on. I've also been working on another song which I hope will be ready next week with the backing track. So the rest of this video, I just want to take a few minutes just to kind of talk about some recent saxophone related events in my life. So if you only wanted to hear the song, totally understand if you stop the video now, but for those of you who want to follow my journey on learning this instrument, I'll just briefly go on a couple of topics. So the first being is last week I had mentioned that I had splurged and kind of impulse bought some harnesses I didn't necessarily need. And I ended up with two other harnesses, and I thought to myself, well, one of them I will at least be able to rotate. You know, I'll use this one, the Jazz Lab Pro, 1 week, and then I'll use, you know, a traditional neck harness the next, and then I'll use the Balam premium one the following week. So I did try that, you know, for maybe about 5 minutes. I got the Balam harness out and I put it on and I played with it, and I thought to myself, you know, what's the point of this? It's not as comfortable. I don't like how, you know, it feels like a neck strap. You know, the Jazz Lab, this feels like a harness because it is away from my neck. You know, I feel it on my shoulders, and really, you know, it putting the pressure on my upper abdomen isn't that uncomfortable. I can play it while standing, I can play it while sitting. So going forward, I'm probably just going to be using this one exclusively. Maybe sometimes I'll use the neck strap, but the Balam has been kind of pushed into a closet somewhere, and you know, someday if I branch out to alto saxophone, I think that would be a very nice harness to have for a lighter horn. That way it doesn't encroach and kind of creep up on my neck, and I think it'd be really comfortable. But with a tenor saxophone, you know, it's got more weight to it. So I like the feel of the Jazz Lab, and I would recommend, if you're looking for a harness, don't do what I do and buy the most expensive harness first. I mean, I kick myself because I could have bought this thing, you know, for 50 bucks or whatever, but instead I spent double that to import, you know, some premium leather, whatever, you know, Balam thing, and it was highly recommended online, but looking back on it, now it's just going to sit in my closet and oh well, maybe I'll use it in 5 years, 10 years, maybe I'll never use it and it's a complete write-off, but hey, that's part of the journey, right? You have to pay to play sometimes, and I've also had to pay for reeds. I've kind of had this problem over my last, almost 5 months of playing, where my reeds will develop like little black spots, mold essentially. And I take good care of my reeds, I wipe them off. I just put them in a little shot glass of water before playing. At the end, I wipe them down, I put them back in their case, and then I put them in my case. But for whatever reason, maybe my case was too humid, or I'm not sure, but my reeds, would get this little black stuff on them and start discoloring, and I'd have to throw them out. So, I've already spent, 20 to 30 US dollars on replacing these reeds, and some of the ones that I thought sounded the best and played the best, I threw out. Just this past week, I had to throw out one of my favorite reeds. Only had it about a month, but it got that little black discoloration on it, and if it's mold, I don't want to be playing that. So I tossed it out, and then I grabbed one of these ones. So I used to play Rico, just the basic, and now I'm on, my teacher kind of got me on this Van Doren kick, and what did it was the Van Doren 2.5, the Java, the green box ones. I thought, they play easy, they blow easy, they have a nice sound, I really like them. But I had to throw one of them out, because of the mold. So I had this other reed that I had bought and then put away because I didn't like it. And what this is a traditional 2.5 Van Doren blue box, okay? People online say this is a better reed for classical music, and I see why. It is incredibly hard to blow and to get a note out, and that's why I didn't play it at first, until recently when I needed a reed, and I tried it again. But the advantage of this stiff, hard reed is that it makes it so much easier to hit the bottom notes, the B flat, and it's also much easier to play the higher notes, F, in tune, D, F, E flat, all those tough notes, I'm able to play them in tune with this stiffer reed. The only problem is when I go to do long tones, I can't hold the note on this reed, not even half of what I could on the other like blue, green box Java reeds. So it's really interesting, the difference in reeds. And this is a 2.5. The other is a 2.5, but I'm telling you, this thing is more like a 3 because I really have to put some oomph into it. But I've been playing it now for maybe about 5 days, and I feel like it's maybe broken in a little bit more, or I've gotten used to it. And I do kind of like the stiffness more because, like I said, when I get out of that middle range, I'm still able to kind of keep a nice sounding tone, so I think. So the last thing I will talk about briefly, and this is just something in my personal life. I received some very sad news when I was at work on Monday, and that was that my saxophone instructor had a bout of family tragedy recently. He sent a text message to me basically saying that he wouldn't be teaching lessons until, the second week of February, which is over a month from now. His daughter was swept out to sea and drowned. My teacher's in his 70s, so I guess his daughter, must be, middle-aged or whatnot. And, of course, I'm not going to ask him for the details of what happened, but imagine, starting 2024 with one of your kids being killed. It was such a bummer, on multiple fronts. I really like my sax instructor, even though I've only been taking lessons less than 5 months. I had a good thing going, consistently, week after week. And now I'm kind of going to be on my own, for a while. And luckily, I have enough experience under my belt to where I've got a scales book. I've got, you know, some songs I can find. I can print music off the internet. I can continue working on long tones. I have a foundation enough to where I can keep going, you know, because the show must go on. You know, when I got into this and I said to myself, you know, I want to learn how to play saxophone, I didn't care if I ever became a pro. I didn't care if I ever had, you know, became super proficient and was able to play in front of people, you know. What I wanted to be able to do was to play songs for myself and for my family, you know, and I wanted to be able to play an instrument, period. And I told myself, you know, Evan, this is a marathon, not a sprint. The learning will never stop. It's a lifelong pursuit. There will always be more to learn. There will be always more challenges to work on. I will never graduate from this instrument. So even though my teacher will not be available for this time, I still intend to practice every day. I still intend to make these weekly videos. And although I may not progress as quickly as I had been with the teacher, you know, I'm enjoying it. And at the end of the day, enjoying the journey, isn't that really what it's about? You know, sure, it'll be great in a couple years or 5 years if I stick with it to be great and to sound amazing and whatnot, but that's not where I'm at today. You know, and where I'm at today is playing this, you know, little song for you and making this video. So, you know, I'm proud of that, and it's been a rough start to 2024 for some of my family and friends, but I've still got my horn, and, you know, life's good. So, anyways, that's enough out of me, and I will make a video a week from now, and thank you for watching. Happy New Year. Take care.